What's up, YouTube? Now, I'm not one to really keep up with superhero movies, especially not DC. I've seen a couple of the new DC movies and I didn't like any of them. But it has come to my attention that DC has casted Aaron Pierre to play the Green Lantern in one of their new movies or TV shows, whatever it is that they're making. And the only reason I know about this is because apparently a lot of people feel that the actor isn't dark-skinned enough to portray the character. And I'm here to invalidate these people. Now, let me be clear, I'm not invalidating colorism. I actually have several videos where I talk about colorism myself. It's a very real thing. What I'm invalidating is this notion that light-skinned people are replacing dark-skinned people because, for one, I just don't see it. And for two, at this point, people are just fear-mongering.
The fact that Neil Adams, the creator of this character, intentionally made it so that John Stewart, the Green Lantern, was dark-skinned, he specifically pushed back on the studio to make this character dark-skinned. And still, years later, we're still dealing with the same thing.
Alright, so for starters, let's look at the actor next to the comic book character because he keeps talking about how the creator intentionally and purposely made the character dark-skinned. Now, I don't know if I'm colorblind or what, but I'm not really seeing a drastic difference here. Don't get me wrong, even if the comic book character was as dark as Wesley Snipes, I will still be making this video. But the fact that we're talking about a shade or two of color difference here makes this whole controversy even more outrageous to me.
Nobody is saying he's not fit for the role. He's not fit for the role. Let me say that he's not fit for the role because he's not dark-skinned. He's not fit for the role because he is not dark-skinned. Point blank, period.
I'm gonna just take his word for it that the creator of this character wanted to make him dark-skinned, but it's important to keep in mind that the creator of this character is a white dude. White people have a completely different scale for what's considered dark and light. Really, everyone does, but judging by the fact that this is what he drew when he wanted to make a dark-skinned character, it's safe to assume that Neil Adams would probably also consider Aaron Pierre to be dark-skinned, as objectively speaking, they're damn near the same color. So really, saying that he isn't fit for the role because he isn't dark-skinned enough is just irrelevant.
We've seen this in Raising Dion. We saw the images of Raising Dion and how the mother was dark-skinned and the child was dark-skinned. He had waves and everything. Like, we even saw a video that they did of him having powers, like the pilot situation of like a commercial for us to get excited about it. Dark-skinned black mother who looks like somebody I would see at Kroger or Publix, like with a black child. Like, then when it came out, light-skinned, biracial-looking mother, light-skinned, biracial-looking child, da-da-da. It's like, I don't even care if they're biracial or not. They're both light-skinned. This happens by design. And it never happens the opposite. It never happens. If y'all do name it, it's going to be some BS.
Fear-mongering 101. Always make sure to say whatever it is that you're complaining about only happens to one group of people. That's how you really rile them up. Okay, though, challenge accepted. What about Emmett Till and his mother being portrayed by darker-skinned people? Or is that some BS? In my opinion, this is more serious considering Emmett Till and his mother are real people that actually existed in this world, while this Raising Dion character you're complaining about is just a fictional character. Sticking with superheroes though, what about Blade? Yup, that's right. In the comic books, Blade's father is a white dude. What about Darwin? In the comics, his father was a Mexican dude, but in the movie, he was just black. Is that some BS?
There's so many times where we have seen this song and tune and this game being played of a dark-skinned character being erased and a light-skinned person playing it. We saw the same thing with Halle Berry playing Storm.
So as you guys just heard, this is something that supposedly happens all the time, and I'm calling cap. When it comes to black superheroes, let me just go off the top of my head and try to name some. Let's see, you got Black Panther, you got Blade, you got Storm, obviously. You got, what's his name? Can't think of his name. The new Captain America. A Falcon. You got Falcon. You got Black Panther's little sister. I feel like I'm missing somebody. That's right, War Machine. As you can see, just naming black characters is tough enough. Now, how many of those are light-skinned? You got Halle Berry and technically War Machine, who was light-skinned for like one movie before he got replaced by Don Cheadle, so he barely counts. And there's side characters. If we're talking about lead roles, the only ones I could think of are Black Panther, Black Panther's little sister, and Blade. Is that really it? Damn, white people had me thinking black people were taking over. But as you can see, all dark-skinned. Where's the light-skinned domination y'all keep yapping about? The only light-skinned lead superheroes I can think of are, again, Halle Berry as Catwoman and Hancock, who isn't even DC or Marvel. Alright, so I resorted to Google and pulled up all the black Marvel characters. I'm probably missing a few, but I think I pulled up all the relevant characters. And I mean, just look at this. Looks pretty chocolate to me. It's actually looking like the light-skinned community needed the Green Lantern casting.
So that's why you have a lot of folks pushing back, because we've seen it. We've seen it. Like, folks are still pissed about what happened to Storm. Yes, Halle Berry is talented. She should have never played Storm. She should have never played Storm to begin with.
Let's talk more about Storm, because I have a bone to pick with this as well. Storm has almost always been portrayed as having lighter skin, blue eyes, and straight hair. What do you mean Halle Berry has no business portraying her? Listen, if it were up to me, Storm would be dark skinned, have a 4C afro, and dark brown eyes. But that's just not how the character was made. So stop with the rage bait talking about they're making the character lighter. As a matter of fact, the darkest I've ever seen Storm is in the new X-Men cartoon that just came out this year. But historically speaking, she's always been Eurocentric. Even in the new cartoon, she still has straight hair and blue eyes. Eurocentric characters are probably going to get played by Eurocentric people. I remember a while back people were mad that Scarlett Johansson portrayed an Asian character in the movie Ghost in the Shell. This is the Asian character in question. Looks close enough to me. You can't whitewash a character that's already whitewashed. I have no sympathy. At least with Storm, you can say that she was made by white people. But as far as I know, the Ghost in the Shell character was made by Asian people. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. What do you guys think? I'm a very open-minded person, right? So, if there's some information that I just don't know about, you guys might be able to sway me.